Okay, so I'm back. I don't know what happened. My phone just stopped recording. So anyway, so the officer nodded his head like, y'all go ahead and go. So they left, and that was so shocking because, I mean, everyone in the theater was just like, oh shit, they going down. And nope, they got away. So they driving and they get to the spot where they were told to go to meet the guy with the airplane because they were thinking that they can get on the plane and go to Cuba. So they get to the spot and it's nighttime. So Slim told Queen to go ahead and take a nap and he'll watch out. And he should have watched, but he fell asleep. So this guy taps on the window, this black guy with gold fronts with a shotgun. He taps on the window with a shotgun, and Slim jumps up, and he's like, what you want? And the guy was like, y'all come with me. And he was like, are you the guy? And that guy was like, yeah, y'all come with me. So they should have asked more questions because Queen was asking questions, but the guy was just trying to blow them off. Everything they would ask, he would just blow them off. And then Slim was just like, calm down, Queen, pretty much. But he didn't say, they never said each other's name. So the movie was named Queen and Slim, but no one called them Queen and Slim throughout the whole movie. So, but anyway, so he was just telling her to calm down. And so the guy was like, yeah, y'all follow me and I'm going to take y'all where y'all need to be. And so pretty much Slim gave him the information that they were looking for. So the guy was like, yeah, y'all come back with me. Yeah, he said, I got a trailer up the way or whatever. So they went with him back to his trailer, and the guy was in there, and Slim was the guy was in the house, and Slim asked him to call the guy about the airplane so that they can catch the airplane. So the guy made a phone call, and he was like, yeah, so he'll be here. He was like, the guy can meet y'all in the morning. So Queen was like, no, we need to leave today. Like, we need to leave ASAP. So the guy called the black guy with the gold fronts, called the guy back and told him that no, these motherfuckers anxious, they ready to go tonight. So he was like, okay, yeah. So he told Slim once he hung up that he said the guy could meet him in an hour. And he was like, it's an hour away, so y'all come on. So they get in the car, and the guy is driving, and Queen and Slim are in the back seat together, holding on to each other. And the guy was like, he's like, I look up to y'all, what y'all did was just amazing. It was good for our people. And so, they feeling good because the guy done boost them up and all. So the guy started smoking a blunt, and he's smoking, and he's like, y'all want to hit it? And they was like, nah. And then the guy was like, shoot, I get nervous. He was like, I gotta smoke, because I'm so nervous. And Slim was like, well, who are you nervous for? He was like, hell, the police, black people, shoot, you name it. And he was like, it's a good thing y'all did. Y'all made a lot of folks proud and stuff. So Slim was like, let me hit that blunt. So he hit the blunt, and then Queen hit the blunt, and then they passed it back to him. And he was like, yeah, live your best life. Live your best life. So he dropped them off to this airport that had these planes. And soon as they get out the car, they look at the plane. They start walking towards the plane. And who shows up but the police? Oh my goodness. It was so sad. I mean, they just came, a whole bunch of them. They just came, and they were standing there holding hands, Queen and Slim. And they were like, I guess trying to figure out like what were they going to do if they were going to let the police take them in, and just go to jail, or if they were going to go out like with a bang and let the police kill them. I seriously want to cry right now, but I'm not because it's a movie. But so Queen was like, she said to Slim, "Can you let me be your legacy?" And Slim was like, he looked at her, and then a police woman shot her in the chest and killed her. She fell to the ground. Slim looked at the officers, and no one was saying anything. You know how when they get caught on camera shooting someone, they're usually like, well, I don't know. I was expecting them to say, like, no, don't shoot, don't shoot. I was expecting someone to say, no, don't shoot. They didn't have any weapons in their hand. They were holding each other's hand and just standing there. They didn't have a weapon at this time anyway. I believe they left a weapon that they had some time ago along the way. But they got the weapon from the officer. When Slim shot the officer, he took that gun with him. So he was just, in awe. He didn't know what to do. And I guess he was thinking in his mind, like, okay, what should I do at this point? Should I turn myself in? Should I obey the police's orders? Or should I go out like she did, like Queen did, and, die with her? So, excuse me, he reaches down to hold Queen's face, and he's looking at her, and he's crying, and she's dead. And he picks up her body, and the police are, get on the ground, or we're going to shoot, the whole time. We're going to shoot. So he's walking towards the police with Queen's body, and they just blasted him. Just blasted him. And it was so sad. It was so sad. So he fell down, and he was still holding Queen's body, and her head never touched the ground. He was just holding her body. So they went out together. And then on the news, and it's so sad. It's so sad. That's why I'm saying it like this. It's so sad. So on the news, Gayle King was on the news, and she was saying how they were cop killers and they were armed and dangerous. That's why the police shot and killed them both, because they were armed and dangerous, which they wasn't. It was all self-defense, because I'm going to get into that, but let me just continue. So yeah, Gayle King was on the news saying that they were armed and dangerous, so the police had no choice but to kill them. And so, then the movie was like, they were showing all the different news networks and how everyone was portraying, the outcome of Queen and Slim. So, of course, you had time to sit there and think about, well, who set them up? Because somebody had to set them up. Like somebody had to alert the police that they were going to be there. So we're thinking, me and my boyfriend, we're thinking that it was the white couple, because the guys seemed like, because he was military. So, he seemed very cool, but his wife was not for it. So we were thinking it was the wife. And the whole time we was like, it was the wife. Because she ain't like them from the get-go. She kept calling them a cop killer. Everything they were telling her, she didn't understand. She didn't understand. She did not want them there at the house. And the guy was like, no, y'all staying, y'all safe here, y'all good. He was telling Queen, your uncle's good people. I owe him a favor. So y'all good here. Y'all don't have to worry about anything. Y'all are safe. So they showed the couple, the white couple, and the couple was watching the news in their living room. And they were just like sitting there like, in mourning, because it was a sad situation. It was very sad. They weren't thugs. It wasn't Thelma and Louise, not Thelma. Talk about Thelma and Louise. Oh my goodness. It wasn't what do a lot of people like to call them? The guy and the woman that were gangsters. They weren't gangsters at all. I forgot what people called them. Who people compared them to as I can't even think right now about who they compared them to. Anyway, they weren't thugs. That wasn't their personality at all. They were just stuck in a bad situation where once they killed that cop, they knew that the cops were going to come and kill them. It wasn't going to be no justice. You know, the officer shot Queen for no reason. I mean, he was harassing Slim for no reason. He had no reason to do that, but he had already made up in his mind that excuse me, that Slim was probably drinking that night. That's why he was swerving, which was a lie because Slim didn't drink. So anyway, so then they showed the uncle and his hoes watching the news, and you know the news telling them that, letting everyone know that the cop killers were caught, and he was, you know, he wasn't like crying, shedding tears, but they were all just sad. Him and his chicks, they were all sad, and it was so sad, so sad. So they showed the funeral. They had a very nice funeral for Queen and Slim. Everyone wore black and was looking sharp and nice, and they were just really in mourning. And then they showed the black guy with the golds in his mouth. And he was watching the news. And he was counting his dough. They had a reward for them. 250,000 apiece, or 200,000 apiece, one or the other. So he was counting his paper because he turned them in. Oh my goodness. The black man turned them in. Who's surprised? I was thinking because it's a black director, it's mainly, you know, mostly black people in the movie. It's a black film. I was thinking that it wouldn't be one of us that would kill a strong couple like that. Bonnie and Clyde. Yeah, they were not Bonnie and Clyde. Okay? Not at all. I just thought about it. They were not Bonnie and Clyde. Okay? They were not thugs. They just wanted to, like Slim was saying after the shooting happened, he was like, I just want to go home. That's it. I just want to go home. And it was so sad because if he wouldn't have fought the officer, that officer would have killed Queen. And even though he really didn't know her, he would have been in jail, because we all know this is not a just system. It's not. And we know how things play out in any situation where you're dealing with an officer. They're always right. It's no justice for you. You're wrong. You know, good luck with getting, you know, an officer charged on some, you know, criminal charges for you doing something that's self-defense. Good luck with that, because that doesn't happen. But, you know, they had no choice, pretty much. Either way, they were going to die. They were going to die in jail, or they were going to die in that street. But the black man sitting there counting all his money because he had set them up. He dropped them off to a spot, collected his dough, and went on his way back to his little raggedy ass trailer, counting his money with all his golds in his mouth, and he think he done did some shit. And the moral of that story is, Our own people would do it to us every single time. Every time. I'll be back with another one, but this is the end of part 2. Bye.